Hello everyone, tarot tubers, mystics, fellow witches, healers, and all those who are in between these paths. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ratseline. I'm a tarot reader for about 20 years, a spiritual coach, a witch by nature, a Reiki master, practitioner, psychology enthusiast, and someone who deeply believes that cards are not just tools, they are companions through life. 2025 has been a year of transformation for me. It has been a year of shadow, grief, strength, and rediscovering my true power. Today, I want to share with you the decks I reached for the most in 2025, the one that held my hand during readings, rituals, and during very personal moments. These are not just favorites, these are the decks that walk with me. For those who's going through any type of pain, grief, confusion, I do have a special message for you at the end of this video. Now, let's begin. Oh, hello there. The first deck that I have for you here is... I have this feeling that everybody knows this deck because it's one of the most quite famous one. The Tarot of Vampyre by Ian Daniels, an artist known for gothic, romantic, and dark surreal imagery. The deck was first published by Llewellyn in 2010. However, it has been gone out of print just a couple of years back, somewhere in 2024. So we have the guidebook here named Phantasmagoria. I do put a plastic cover over here, so that's why you can see a little bit of glare there. So the guidebook is by far one of my top favorite guidebook and one of the best guidebook out there in the tarot world. I'm an intuitive reader, but this guidebook makes me want to explore the world of tarot even deeper. I could use this book as referencing with any tarot decks out there. This deck is more than just marrying both the Thoth and the Rider-Waite-Smith system. Furthermore, it is not just a tarot deck, it has an entire vampire cosmology behind it. This deck is dark, it is seductive, it is intense, but more than that, it is emotionally honest. The suits are renamed. Wands is scepter, the cups become grails, swords is knives, and pentacles become skulls. So from the renaming alone shifts the atmosphere. This is not light tarot, it is emotionally intense. Artwork is highly detailed, sensual, shadowy, and dramatic. There are recurring characters throughout the deck, which makes it feel like you are stepping into a gothic novel rather than shuffling cards. I feel that symbolically the decks work deeply with immortality and death cycle, desire, obsession, loss, power dynamic, transformation through pain, emotional and spiritual hunger. From my experience working with this deck, I just own this deck. It's fairly new to me in my collection. I just got it somewhere in 2023 and I was fascinated and fall deeply in love with this deck. As you can see, I had etched my copy in red, and then somewhere in 2024, just about a year from the moment that I first purchased this deck, I bought not just another one, just additional copy for myself because I knew that I'm so in love with this deck, especially the guidebook. So I purchased additional copy, not just one, but two of them. From my experience reading with this deck does not whisper. It does not soften messages. It confronts. I love that the major doesn't have any number. It is not ideal for beginners who prefer soft guidance. Why I use this deck so much in 2025, this deck resonated with me because grief for me feels like being transformed against your will. And vampires symbolize eternal longing, and grief is longing with no physical form. This deck allowed me to sit with intense emotions without denying them. It doesn't sugarcoat messages. It speaks about ending, rebirth, obsession, longing, and survival. If you are someone who resonates with dark divine energy, shadow works, or intense emotional reading, this deck is powerful. For me, it became a mirror of my emotional intensity in 2025. I'm so in love with these decks. If Tarot of Vampires represents transformation through intensity, then the next deck represents transformation through silence. Because grief is not always dramatic, sometimes it's quiet. This is the shade Tarot by Lunar Art Design. I can never pronounce the name, Lunar Art or Lunart Design. It is an independently produced deck that was released in 2023. As any other indie decks, it sometimes goes in or out of print. You can check the creator's IG by scanning through this QR code or by going through their website to get more information. So before we start, first and foremost, this is an AI-assisted design deck. What it means is the deck is being created through artificial intelligence, collaborative images, combining AI with the imagination of the designer. So long story short, AI, human, boom, this deck is born. And for those of you who are against AI deck, please skip the next few minutes of this video and kindly move along to the next deck. I love this deck so much. So as you can see from here, they do give me this crystal quartz. I'm so loving it. These are the deck, and I do etch my copy in red as well. Same goes with the Tarot of Vampire. So the guidebook is fairly concise, I could say. I love that they do give this planet and horoscope. And I mean, it's just this much of information for each of them. And same goes with the minor as well. It's the same. So I like the guidebook. It's have good information in it. So this is a thank you card. I bought this deck in 2023. Structurally, it follows the RWS system, Rider Waite Smith, so it remains accessible. The suits and court card are traditional. However, oh wow, look at this card. However, visually, it leans into contrast, shadow tones, and contemporary symbolism. The shade Tarot feels introspective, almost like it whispers instead of shouts. The art style is muted using limited color palettes. As you can see, it's just black and white here and gray. However, it does have the strong emotional expressions. What makes this deck unique is its emotional atmosphere. It feels introspective, almost like journaling through cards. Plus, because of its shadowy oriented images, it allows my intuition to fire up and also make me constantly see different images every time I look through each of the cards. Guys, look in here. Do you see this? What do you see? Every time when I see it, it just changes, right? Do you see? Why am I whispering? Anyway. This is what I meant. So this is another one. It doesn't have much faces in this deck, which sometimes I do love, especially when I want to do shadow work and especially when I'm going through grieving. So perhaps these two cards are the only one that have faces in it, and this one not as much. But yes, this is the only one that you can see her full faces, and this is the Empress card. So the rest of the image, you can see it's like this, like it's faceless, and I kind of like it, and I love it so much. It feels like scrying with smoke or having a drop of ink in the water. So solely because of that is why I love this deck. Why I use this deck so much in 2025, the one that I grabbed the most. This deck helped me process grief, quiet grief, I might add. Not the dramatic breakdown days, but the silent days, the days when nothing feels loud, just heavy. Shade Tarot doesn't overwhelm with symbolism. It leaves space for projection, which makes intuitive reading stronger. This deck helped me explore the quiet parts of myself, the numbness, the confusion, the internal question. It's excellent for shadow works, therapy aligned work, and deep personal readings. If Tarot of Vampire is dramatic transformation, Shade Tarot is inner processing. It is subtle but powerful. Shadow work helps us understand our pain, but understanding is only part of healing. At some point, you have to stand back up. This is Londa Tarot. This deck feels powerful, like having an otherworldly guides or friends, and very much unapologetic. The Londa Tarot is created by Londa circa 1993, and my apologies for showing yet another out of print deck. Yeah, you can see here 1993, and this is the creator Londa. I love the guidebook. It's like reading through song lyric or poetry, and the meaning for each of the cards is different than what I've seen before, and I really love reading through the guidebook. It does have some songs and poetry, as you can see here. This one calls the Pharaoh's Daughter. It is fairly an older deck, so I'm sure there's plenty of people have this or not, because it does went out of print. This is one of the extra card. It says here, who are you really? I feel that these are the decks that came into my life throughout my journey as a tarot reader. I always believe that deck come into your life or not has far bigger, seen or unseen, known or unknown reason behind it. This deck follows the Rider-Waite-Smith system, but stylistically it leans toward modern empowerment art. The artwork is confident, often featuring strong feminine figure and direct gazes. Look at those soul-piercing eyes. Get this one. I have a long backstory about this deck and how it got into my tarot collection. The story feels like it's straight up of a horror movie with supernatural element, which I will let you guys know perhaps in another video. If you guys want to hear it, please do let me know down below in the comment section. Personally, with my experience working with this deck, I discovered that it is a straight shooter. It has a very motivational tone. It doesn't feel mystical in a distant way. It feels grounded and assertive. The border doesn't even bother me. I feel like whenever I look at this border, it's like a stage, right? A stage play. It's even written in the guidebook. So it looked like, when you're sitting in an opera on the chair there, and then you look up, the curtains open. So it is what I feel like whenever I look at these decks. Look at his eyes again. I love the details. It reminded me of Barbara Walker Tarot. I have used this deck primarily in rituals for myself and clients, and also a very, very chatty deck. It would want you to spend time with it, and it will never stop talking to you, like literally. Moreover, this is the deck that I use when I needed empowerment rather than introspection. In 2025, when I feel emotionally shaken, I needed a deck that reminded me of who I am. Grief can make you forget your strength, Londa Tarot says, you are still powerful. Furthermore, when I needed strength, and this deck does carry that warrior energy, it's the kind of deck that says, you survive, now rise. Strength is powerful, but constant strength can be exhausting. Sometimes we need gentleness more than we need power. Tarot by Caro, created by Caroline Clarke, or preferably known as Caro, is a softer, intuitive RWS-inspired deck. For your info, it is an indie deck and it only shipped to 2 countries. Check the website and you'll know. Imagine that I have been lusting over this deck for over a year. I got it in 2022. And back in 2022, I had to find my own way to get my hand on this deck. After going through a few trials, I finally got the deck as fated to be in our hands. Do not feel sad or have a heavy heart whenever you didn't or did get any deck. Just trust the process. Better things are coming. So this is the website. You can check out by yourself. And this is the creator's IG. This precious deck, I bought it to travel with me all around the world. Oops, here's the back. I love the back. It's so elemental, as you can see here. I use it so much. Look at that. And I love to have decks that have signs of wear. It's, that means that I do spend a lot of time with it. I brought it travel with me around the world to India, Amsterdam, Singapore, Thailand, and even a few trips to Dubai. And few other countries, I just can't recall now. Indonesia also. I do travel often. I love the packaging. As you can see, it's very just that. And it can fit in my handbag, my wallet, and it doesn't weigh a ton. That's why I love the deck. I love the whole package of it. And to be honest, this deck goes in and out of print. I believe there's a new edition release in 2024 with 90 cards, including 12 zodiac cards in the deck. I would love to get my hands on that deck as well, but looking at the current economy, the current situation that is happening around the world, plus the high shipping rate and the hustle of getting an indie decks these days, it doesn't contribute to my mental health and my wallet. Look at this deck. I love the elemental imagery and active elements of it. Look at this. Her hair is literally, she's wind, she's air itself. Look at this. And this deck it is an active deck. It feels like fire and earth, active and grounded, just like me as an Aries Taurus cusp. Yes, I do born in between 2 signs. This deck is very readable, especially for intuitive readers who rely on feeling rather than memorize meanings. When my heart felt heavy, this was the deck I used for comfort readings. The kind where you just need reassurance and grounding. Talking about grief, the death card is here. This deck reminds me that not all healing has to be intense. Some healing is quiet. In 2025, there were days I didn't need shadow work. I needed comfort. I needed softness, gentler but wise buddy. Tarot by Caro felt like a friend sitting beside me. After comforts comes grounding. And for me, grounding means returning to the foundation of tarot itself. Okay, this might surprise people. So this is called Tarot, the Complete Kit by Running Press. It was a mass market deck, though it may look like a typical RWS structure. I do feel like it is an all 3-in-1 system-based set design for accessibility. With, I remember, Justice is at number 8 and Strength at 11. This deck first came out in 1996, then in 2002. Illustrated by Julie Pashkis. Pashkis, designed by Paul Capel. Do forgive me if I mispronounce. I purchased this deck as secondhand in 2023 from someone who bought it a while back, while the person residing in the UK still have that UK price tag there. The moment when I saw this deck, I know that we would work along just fine. It was an inexpensive deck, and also I etched this in black also. Though it is an out-of-print deck, you can still easily purchase it via eBay or through online. It is simple. I adore this deck for its hidden esoteric symbology, only if you know where to look. It is an affordable deck that works as a tarot itself and great as a clarifier. Plus, it is a fun pocket-sized deck. As you can see from my hands here, it's quite small, like almost half of the usual tarot card size. Awesome for an additional traveling companion for those who wanting to save space in their luggage, like me. It can even fit into your purse and your handbag. Furthermore, with the different colors, as you can see here, for each suit and even for all the mages is all in purple. Yeah, these are all mages, and orange is sword. The green is pentacles, wands with red or orange here, and cups with blue. For me, with the different color for each one up here, it feels like an added layers for me to work on my chakras or using it color association. For example, the green is safety, jealousy, etc. The orange being optimistic, sacral chakra, blue for communication, intellect, or simply for throat chakra, so on and so forth. This deck reminded me meaning exists beyond chaos, because the imagery is so simple. And I love that it is not a busy deck with the black background, and it's clear and pop out images. It makes me feel like scrying into Black Mirror. And if you see other cards, perhaps here, and you can see here as well, Death for Scorpio, and then the Star card. We have Aquarius and so on and so forth. So I really love this deck so much. Structure kept me stable, but spirituality kept me hopeful. That is where Oracle decks entered my space in 2025. This is one of those decks that I obtained through deck swapping with my student or clients back in 2023. This deck had always felt nurturing to me. The Goddess Guidance Oracle by Doreen was first published in 2004. And also it went out of print as well. It is a well-loved, well-known deck in our beloved tarot community. It has 34 cards, and it connects to the divine feminine archetypes and goddess energy across cultures. Each card represents a goddess figure, such as Isis, Athena, Lakshmi, and others, paired with affirmational messages. The artwork is luminous, ethereal, and spiritually comforting, though I might add it may be and outdated imagery, but messages are still applicable no matter what era you are living in. So we have Saraswati here. I feel like this deck is ideal for spiritual readers, people seeking comfort, for daily guidance pulls, and simply display it on your altar, feminine empowerment. From my reading experience with this deck, it is a very direct, very comforting, affirmation-based rather than analytical. In grief, sometimes you don't need analysis, you need reassurance. In my grief, I found comfort in the idea that there is something larger holding us. Whether you work with goddesses literally or symbolically, this deck offers reassurance and spiritual support. It feels like being held. Divine feminine energy nurtures, but sometimes you also need a friend who tells you the truth. And that is exactly what this deck does. Now, this deck brings sass, humor, bluntness, and truth. The Naughty Oracle by Naomi Beth, published by Rockpool. On 2022, it is a 44 decks, bold, humorous card decks. So before I start here, no, hold on. I want to show you something. Here, for those who are watching this, if you can handle a slap on the face, ice bucket shower, or even a blunt truth, then by all means, this may be the deck for you. However, if you are super sensitive beings, easily offended, and serious most of the time, please do not get this deck. And there are plenty of other decks that suit your style better than this one, okay? Now, with that has been said, let us continue. Guys, read this. I don't know if YouTube will censor this. I'm not sure, but read this. You have been warned, people. This is the guidebook. I love that it tells you a lot of it tells you the meaning behind the cards, but the one that I love the most is the question to ask yourself, journaling prompt, and they do have affirmation down here. Sometimes they do have 3 or 5 questions and a longer affirmation perhaps. So I really love. Let me tell you, in the middle of grief, sometimes you need to laugh. The Naughty Oracle breaks heavy energy. Oh, I etched this copy myself. It did not come pre-etched, okay? I just would like to follow the color here because it does have so much color at the border. The Naughty Oracle breaks heavy energy. It breaks traditional spiritual seriousness and introduces sass and modern language. The art style is playful and contemporary. Look at this one. Through my working with this deck, I find it to be direct, sometimes sarcastic, but always honest. This deck is excellent. Look at this. Your soul has retrieved it. So it is an honest deck. This deck is excellent for breaking heavy energy, calling out avoidance, empowerment with humor. I love this one. Personally, this deck feels like a bitchy friend that will tell you things whether you like it or not. Harsh and painful words, but being truthful nonetheless. In 2025, humor saved me many times. There are days when I cry so bad with water running out from my nose, and this deck happens to shine a light in my dark days. Grief can drown you. This deck reminded me I'm still alive, and sometimes laughter is survival. All these decks held different parts of me. This year, the shadow, the strength, the softness, the foundation, the faith, and even laughter. Before I close this video, I want to speak from my heart. 2025 the snake year has been the year I lost my fiance. He passed away just a few weeks before our wedding day. Grief is not poetic, it is not aesthetic, it is not linear. Some days I can read cards with strength. Some days I just sit in silence, feeling disconnected. If you are watching this and you are grieving someone, a partner, a parent, a friend, I want you to know you are not weak. You are not broken. You are carrying love that has no way to go. And love never disappears. I have a few quotes that I would want to share with all of you. The first one from Rumi. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Next, from Khalil Gibran. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth, you are weeping for that which has been your delight. And lastly, from C.S. Lewis, grief is the price we pay for love. If you are still here, thank you. If this video resonated with you, comment below with that carried you the most in 2025. I know it has been long overdue, but I would still love to hear it from you. And also, please tell me where you are from and let us get to know one another. And if you are grieving, I see you, I honor you, and I am walking this path too. Until next time, stay powerful, stay gentle with yourself, and trust your intuition. Oh my god, this is even harder than it should be. Oh, take 4, 5. Okay, I forgotten what I supposed to say. Oh my god. How do you guys even do this? This is harder. This is so... Oh. We did it. We finally record the video.